Hello. The 2026 Gaming TV Showdown. Which screen wins? So, you are ready to upgrade your gaming setup for 2026. You want the best picture possible for your new console or PC. But when you start looking, you see a lot of confusing terms. The big question is simple. Which TV is actually the best for gaming? The answer isn't a single model. It really depends on what kinds of games you play, where you play them, and what you care about most. The choice comes down to three main types of television technology. Each one has its own set of strengths and weaknesses that can make or break your gaming experience. The three main contenders fighting for the top spot on your entertainment center are OLED, QLED, Mini-LED. Getting the right one means you stop guessing and, start playing on a screen that feels made for you. You have probably seen these names on the boxes at the store. We will look at the key features that make a TV great for gaming. Then, we will dive deep into each of the three main technologies. We will compare them directly to see how they stack up in different situations. This will give you the confidence to choose the right TV. You will not have to worry about making a mistake or feeling like you missed out on a better option. The first thing is input lag. This is the tiny delay between when you press a button on your controller and when you see the action happen on the screen. For gaming, you want this delay to be as short as possible. A low input lag makes the game feel responsive and connected to your commands. Professional players and anyone who enjoys fast-paced games needs this to be a top priority, as it can be the difference between winning and losing a match. Next up is response time. This is different from input lag. Response time measures how quickly a single pixel on the screen can change from one color to another. A fast response time means you get sharp, clear motion without any distracting blur. When things are moving quickly on screen, like in a racing game or a first-person shooter, a slow response time can make the image look smeared. This is often called ghosting. A TV with a very fast response time will keep the action looking crisp and clean, which helps you track enemies and objects more easily. Then, there is the refresh rate. This is measured in hertz and tells you how many times the screen updates the picture every second. You should also look for a feature called variable refresh rate, or VRR, which prevents ugly screen tearing and stuttering for a much smoother experience overall. OLED technology is famous for its incredible contrast and speed. The name stands for Organic Light Emitting Diode. In simple terms, every single pixel on an OLED screen creates its own light. This means a pixel can turn completely off to be perfectly black, right next to a pixel that is brightly lit. This ability gives OLED TVs what is often called infinite contrast. For gamers, this creates a stunningly deep and immersive picture. Because the pixels make their own light, they can change color almost instantly. This gives OLED TVs a near instantaneous response time. The result is exceptionally clear motion. When you are whipping your view around in a fast-paced shooter, the image stays sharp and free of blur. This clarity can give you a real competitive edge. Combined with very low input lag, the game feels incredibly responsive. It feels like there is a direct connection between your controller and the action on screen. Of course, OLED technology is not without its downsides. The most talked about concern is the risk of burn-in. Since the organic materials in the pixels can wear down over time, displaying a static image for hundreds or thousands of hours can potentially leave a permanent mark. This could be a health bar, a mini-map, a news channel logo. Modern OLED TVs have many built-in features to reduce this risk, like pixel shifting, logo dimming. For most people, it will never be a problem. But if you are a gamer who plays one single game for 8 hours a day, every day, it is a small risk you should be aware of. So, who is an OLED TV best for? It is the ideal choice for the gamer who values picture quality and performance above all else. If you mostly play in a dim or dark room where the perfect black levels can truly shine, an OLED will blow you away. It is perfect for cinematic story-driven games that have beautiful atmospheric worlds. It is also an amazing choice for competitive players who need the fastest response time and cleanest motion possible. As long as you vary your gaming content and are mindful of static elements, an OLED TV provides an unmatched, premium gaming experience. QLED is a term you will see on many TVs, especially from brands like Samsung. QLED stands for Quantum Dot Light Emitting Diode. At its core, a QLED TV is an LCD TV with an extra layer tiny particles called quantum dots. These dots are what make QLED TVs special. When the TV's backlight shines through them, they produce very pure and vibrant colors. This technology also allows QLED TVs to get extremely bright. Brightness is a huge advantage for gamers in sunny rooms. The picture won't look washed out, even during the day. One of the biggest selling points, QLEDs are immune to burn-in. They use a separate backlight, not self-lit pixels. You can leave a static HUD on screen as long as you want without risk. QLED is a safe, reliable choice for a dedicated gaming TV. But QLEDs have limits versus OLED. Because of an always-on backlight, they can't produce perfect blacks. In dark scenes you'll often see dark gray instead of true black. That can cause blooming or a faint halo around bright objects. Example, text on a loading screen with a glow. Top QLEDs use advanced dimming to reduce this, but it's an LCD limitation. QLEDs are great for lots of gamers. For a family room that sees movies, sports, and gaming, QLED is a strong contender, especially if you game in bright rooms. Also ideal for budget-conscious gamers, often much cheaper than a premium OLED or a Mini-LED model. If you want bright, colorful image with zero burn-in risk, and you don't need perfect blacks, QLED is an excellent practical choice. Mini-LED is one of the most exciting advancements in TV technology, and it offers a great middle ground for gamers. Think of a Mini-LED TV as a supercharged QLED TV. Like a QLED, it is an LCD panel that uses a backlight. The mini part of the name refers to the size of the LEDs in that backlight. They are incredibly tiny, much smaller than the LEDs in a standard QLED TV. This means that TV makers can pack thousands of them into the TV. More importantly, they can group these tiny lights into hundreds or even thousands of individual dimming zones that can be controlled with great precision. With so many dimming zones, the TV can make very small parts of the screen extremely bright while keeping other parts very dark. This results in a massive improvement in contrast compared to a standard QLED TV. Black levels get much closer to what you would see on an OLED, which makes the entire picture look more dynamic and punchy. At the same time, Mini-LED TVs can reach incredibly high levels of peak brightness. This makes them absolute champions for HDR gaming. Explosions in games look dazzling and incredibly realistic. Sunlight in games looks dazzling and incredibly realistic. Other bright effects in games look dazzling and incredibly realistic. Just like QLED TVs, Mini-LED screens are based on LCD technology, which means they are completely free from the risk of burn-in. You can play games with static HUDs for hours on end without a single worry. This makes them a fantastic choice for marathon gaming sessions for anyone who plays a lot of MMOs, for anyone who plays a lot of sports games. However, even with thousands of dimming zones, they are not perfect. You may still see a small amount of blooming around very bright objects on a black background. You may still see a halo effect around very bright objects on a black background. A Mini-LED TV is the best choice for a gamer who wants the best of both worlds. It is for someone who wants a super bright, impactful HDR experience, but also wants deeper blacks than a standard QLED can provide. If you play in a bright room but still want great performance for your nighttime gaming sessions, Mini-LED is a perfect fit. It is the go-to technology for HDR enthusiasts who want games to look as bright and spectacular as possible. If you want a high-performance TV that is safe for very long gaming sessions, a Mini-LED model will serve you extremely well. Choosing between these three technologies can feel tough, so let's put them side by side in a simple summary. This will help you see which one wins in the areas that matter most to you as a gamer. Think about your own priorities and see which TV type lines up best with your needs. There is no single best TV for everyone, but there is definitely a best TV for you. For the absolute best picture quality, OLED is the undisputed champion. Perfect blacks and infinite contrast give OLED unmatched depth and realism. For motion clarity and response time, OLED also takes the lead. Near-instant pixel response makes it perfect for competitive gaming. When it comes to playing in a bright room, Mini-LED pulls ahead, extremely high. Full-screen brightness beats glare from windows and lights. QLED is a very strong bright room performer, often at a lower price point. For the absolute safest choice against burn-in, Mini-LED QLED are winners. You can play for thousands of hours without risk. Finally, let's talk about value. For the best performance for your dollar, QLED often comes out on top. You can get a very capable, bright, and responsive gaming TV for a very reasonable price. To summarize, for the best overall picture and competitive edge, choose OLED for the best bright room performance and amazing HDR punch. choose Mini-LED, and for the best all-around value and a great bright room experience without breaking the bank, choose QLED. Each one has a clear place in the gaming world. Now that you understand the strengths of each technology, you can make a clear and simple choice. Your final decision should come down to how you personally play games. Hardcore gamers, OLED, all-day gaming and bright rooms, Mini-LED, casual and budget gamers, QLED. What do you game on in 2026? Like, subscribe, comment your setup.